Good morning. Time for another hike in Montreat. This is probably my favorite and literally the peak of my trip up here this spring. Going up Graybeard, which is the grandfather of all the mountains here in Montreat, at the northern end of the Seven Sisters. It's about a 9-mile hike altogether, about 4 up and 4 back, and different kinds of elevation changes, and it's very forested like it is right now here, and lots of birds. So I'm looking forward to this and show you what's going on as we proceed.
Welcome to the Montreat Wilderness Graybeard Trail hike. The trailhead is up the Graybeard Trail Road in Montreat, about as far as you can drive, where you'll see a limited parking area next to the trailhead bulletin board. There you can make a donation to the Montreat Wilderness. Parking is on a first-come, first-served basis, and you can also park down in the Montreat Anderson Auditorium parking lot. The trail starts out with a beautiful bridge built over this swampy part of Flat Creek by the Montreat Wilderness folks. It's one of many improvements they've made to this and other trails in Montreat. The early part of the trail gives you a taste for what lies ahead. It's pretty rocky and peppered with rhododendron roots, but well marked and easy to follow.
The key to hiking in terrain like this is just to be really mindful, thinking about what you're doing, placing one step at a time. It's real easy to twist your ankle or fall over, or even to fall backwards. So you kind of want to lean into it as you go uphill and just take your time. That's the key thing. Otherwise, you might have to limp back home from here, and we've just gotten started. All along this trail, Flat Creek is right next to it, and there's beautiful falls and pretty deep swimming holes right here. Nice clear. You can see right to the bottom of it. I bet you it's way too cold to jump in, but sometime in August that might not be the case.
Like all of the trails in Montreat, the Wilderness Group has cleared, marked, and supported the trail with logs and boards where it's needed. These steps look a lot older though, probably predating my time. So generations have worked on these trails because they love it up here.
Right here it looks like there was a bridge in recent years to get across to the other side. I'm not exactly sure what's over there. Maybe just a nice area to look around. I don't think it's a trail that connects to anything else, but maybe it is. And if you can read that sign right there, all of this bridge got washed away by Hurricane Helene a couple of years ago. But they're back at it. I don't know when exactly, but looks like they're going to rebuild it. And the trail continues on behind me here. So we'll keep going in that direction, the opposite direction on up the mountain.
Right on cue, here's another bridge that gets us across another part of the stream that looks like it's been damaged by Helene's floods. Great job, Wilderness team.
I've been showing pictures of some of the damage caused by Hurricane Helene on the trail and on the mountain in general. And you can see the size of some of this timber that's fallen down across the trail. Here's one side, and here's the other side. So how did they cut these? Not easily. You certainly wouldn't use your everyday backyard chainsaw. You'd need a big lumber saw to do something like this. That's probably at least 2.5 feet wide.
A little further on, this plaque designates an area in honor of Lou and Wade Boggs. My parents and I knew the Boggs when we lived and played in Montreat during the 60s and 70s, so it's nice to see their memory carried on up here. This area is home to a diverse collection of western North Carolina birds. Let's hear what they have to say.
It's hard to describe the natural beauty of this place. All you gotta do is see it and hear it. Here's a bridge that's been reconstructed. Just a walking bridge, but it works. It makes it a lot easier to get across this creek. When we cross that bridge back there, we've started to turn back to the north, and eventually we'll be heading back towards the east across the face of Graybeard. So there's a couple of big switchbacks. It doesn't, like Rainbow, it doesn't go back and forth quickly across the face, and it doesn't really have steep sections until we get closer to the top. So we're heading back north and then east, and then eventually we'll turn back towards the west and northwest before we ascend the top.
Let's take a look at the wilderness map, courtesy of the Montreat Wilderness Group. Right now, we're heading up the lower Graybeard Trail to the northeast. Then we'll reach the first leg of the trestle road on Graybeard near Pot Cove Gap and turn west on the trestle to swing around the ridge. We'll reach a sharp turn and head down the second leg of the trestle, going back across the face of Graybeard to the east towards Graybeard Falls. Then, after a jog back to the southwest on the third segment of the trestle, we'll head up the ridge itself northwest to the top of Graybeard.
Still sort of heading north now. We're getting close to Pot Cove Gap. So that'll be the end of this first section, and we'll talk then. Well, I'm out of breath, but I'm getting very close to Pot Cove Gap. As you can see, the trail has been rerouted off in this direction. That's to my right. I don't really know why. It doesn't look bad going the other way, but I can see a lot of timber debris in the creek bed in that direction. So that's probably what it is. So I'll follow the reroute and should be at the gap real quick. This little side trail connects the old Mitchell Road at Pot Cove Gap down to the trestle. It's a little hard to find unless you know what you're looking for. So I might suggest to my buddies down in Montreat to mark this a little more carefully. Maybe they didn't want to. Here we are, Pot Cove Gap, looking up towards the northwest on the old Mitchell Road. And you can see this is private property we're on right now. And here's a private road that goes down to the east to the next valley over from Montreat. A lot of bear hunters come up here, I think, in the fall and winter. And then here's the road continuing to the southeast towards Lookout, where we were the other day. So the interesting thing that I've noticed here this trip is, one of the interesting things is that at Pot Cove Gap, the trestle that I'm standing on now doesn't actually connect directly to the old Mitchell Road. So this was obviously a spur for logging on the Montreat side of the ridge, and it didn't connect up with the Mitchell Road to Black Mountain in Asheville until it got around the ridge to probably Sourwood Gap, I'm guessing. But I'll have to look into that. Anyway, I'm going to continue up the direction I'm pointing now to take the rest of the Graybeard Trail up to the top. It's going to be a lot tougher, but we'll see you at the top. So once again, finished the first leg of the hike, and it was about 2 miles to this point. Took me about an hour and a half. You know, no speed records, but I'm enjoying this and trying to document as much as I can. So this is pretty neat. I am due west of Pot Cove Gap, on the trestle road, and you can see bits of an old rock structure wall. It was probably part of a bridge that went across the creek over here. So that's, 140 years old. 110 anyway, sorry. Pretty interesting. It's really the first waypoint on the way up Graybeard. They're having some kind of endurance race here today, so guys are running up here. Yeah, maybe 50 years ago I might have thought about doing that, but I'm just enjoying the day. I hope they are too. So now we're heading southwest along the Trestle Road away from Pot Cove Gap, and I haven't run into the upper trail to Graybeard yet, but should be there in a minute. Well, I'm taking a picture of this. There's a bend here in the trail, like that, and it looks like the trestle stops here, although I'm not convinced. I kind of think it keeps going, even though it's pretty wooded back in here. But at any rate, the trail goes off in that direction. And that's the Graybeard Trail now. And this is really different. This is not the way it used to be. It used to be when we were over at Pot Cove Gap, just a little ways this way on the trestle, not more than a few hundred yards, was the original trail going up to the top. So this is different. We're obviously saving on going straight up the mountain, doing a switchback here. So anyway, I'm glad they did it. It's easier for hikers. It was always a real pain in the butt going up that ridge from there. And let's do this. Let's finish the job. So what we're looking at is a nice flat area up here for a ways that looks like either a continuation of that trestle we were on that loops back around and goes back up the hill along the sort of traverse across it. And we used to call this the second trestle, and there's actually another one up higher, the third trestle. And we can see this guy going by. Good luck.
Thank you.
Here's another rock wall. This is where the train trestle would have been supported so it didn't go off the side of the mountain. This rock wall actually separates the second trestle that we were just on. There must have been a turn point here going back upwards. I'm up on the last stretch of the trail up to Graybeard, and this is kind of a bit of an intersection. There's the trail we came from that way, the trail that goes up the mountain this way, and this is the old trail. So this is heading pretty much due east, and I can't really remember where it goes, but I think it does go down the ridge. So instead of winding around the switchbacks, it goes down the ridge that way. Interesting. So it's kind of blocked off now, and they route us up the old trestle roads. This is the last stretch to the top of Graybeard. Here we go. Does a bear poop in the woods? Well, here's evidence to suggest that it actually does.
Now that we're in the final leg to the top of Graybeard, let me apologize if I have confused you about old trails and multiple trestle roads and even bear scat. It's what I do. I like to explore, and that means to ask questions about everything I see and to give a historical perspective where possible. But please ignore me and follow the blue trail markers at all times. It's easy to get turned around up here, even with a map and GPS. So stay on the trail and you'll enjoy every minute of your hike. And if you do get turned around or just wonder where you are, GPS is your best friend. You can see exactly where you are and even figure out how far it is to Graybeard Peak or any other location.
Well, I made it. Here I am at the top of Graybeard, and we're looking at Mount Mitchell behind me, and the Black Mountains along there. Then as I turn this way a little bit, that's Pinnacle, that's sharp sort of one in the lower left. And you can actually walk there from here along this ridge behind me. It's quite the hike. In fact, you can walk all the way to Mount Mitchell from here if you want to, but that'll have to be another day.
After resting up and enjoying the views at the top, it's time to head back down. I'll be going back the way I came up, with a quick stop to see the camping shelter at Walker's Knob, which you can find on your map, and it's well marked along the trail. A couple of words about descending Graybeard or any other mountain. Be careful. Take your time. It's steep in places and rough except on the trestles. It's tempting to hop from rock to rock and speed up your pace. Trust me, you don't want to slip and get injured. One step at a time, enjoy all of your time in the woods. The shelter at Walker's Knob is another great resource for outdoor people who want to spend more time up here. It's in a great spot with a nice view of Montreat and all the features you need. You can sign up at montreat.org/wilderness. I'm down at the bottom again. It's been a great hike, about 9 miles in 5 hours. I'm tired and my feet are sore, but I'm thankful to have been able to climb Graybeard again after all these years. Special thanks to the people who own and steward these resources so well. The people of Montreat, the Montreat Wilderness team, and the Montreat Conference Center. Visit www.montreat.org/wilderness for more information.